So, WWE had a few different ways it could have gone with WrestleMania 36. It could have cancelled it because one of its top stars has had leukemia and no wrestling show is worth a life even if the wrestler thinks so. Or it could have postponed it, but instead, WWE is pushing ahead. WrestleMania 36, 2 nights, 2 venues, no fans. Imagine if making sure WrestleMania happens on WrestleMania weekend is what kills Vince McMahon. I mean, I don't want it to happen, but is there a better series wrap on Vince? Huge smile, closed casket. But also, God, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania this year. This is the bleakest possible timeline. And I know wrestling is just a distraction, but it's a lovingly crafted distraction. And I really need distracting right now. I'm really invested in all of these wrestlers having a great show, and again, if you happen to have a bit more money lying around from not going out, maybe now is a good time to buy your favorite wrestler's t-shirt. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I'm filming this on Monday the 23rd of March. This is going to be 2 videos because WrestleMania 36 is too big for 1 video. So I'm giving you 8 matches for each card. I'm not sure if these are going to be the final announced matches. I left it as late as I could, but you know, editing takes time, so I've had to film it now. So editor Simon, have any ludicrous matches been announced? That's fantastic, or oh no. So in the absence of the full cards, I've just made matches that ultimately I would like to see because fantasy booking. So night 1 of WrestleMania 36, let me have a go. So night 2, I'm thinking let's have that at the Performance Center. Night 1, I'm thinking emanates from Full Sail University. That place has been disused for a while, so I think maybe it's a safer place to have Roman Reigns, and also it factors into the first match, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. First of all, gosh, isn't it nice not to have a fucking pre-show? Owens and Rollins can just go out there, have 20 minutes so everyone can just unclench, breathe out and go, oh yeah, wrestling. Wrestling brought to you by 2 men with very fond memories of Full Sail. Both men were crowned NXT champion in this building. But, and here's the key part, Owens can say in a promo before the match that the last time he was in NXT, he was at War Games fighting alongside his brothers. Last time Seth Rollins was in Full Sail, he was wearing a Raw t-shirt. One left NXT behind, and the other, well, some have said that he should probably have never left. Rollins appears with the remaining Author of Pain and Buddy Murphy, but he decides to send them to the back because this is my house. He does his little Christ pose, and gosh, like if WrestleMania really is the time when every wrestler steps up their cosplay, he should just be turning up in a loincloth with some stigmata on his hands. I mean, then the game of the match could be the more he moves, oh, is his loincloth gonna, and there's his dick. So no frills wrestling here. Let's just start the night right, plant the flag into WrestleMania 36. It's an empty arena show, so let's focus on what's happening in between the ropes and not the spectacle. Hide the negatives, accent the positives. Take the hard cam, shoot it straight up the ramp so you can see the Titantron and not, you know, the empty seats. In fact, turn out the light to the seats. Just have all the lighting focus on the ring and the ramp. So in the end, Kevin Owens channels the spirit of his ancestral Holy Land and Super Saiyan stunners Rollins for a big babyface victory to kick off Mania. Backstage promo, Mandy Rose wearing a referee shirt. She's talking with Sonya Deville and she's just saying, well, I'm ready for this match tonight, but one thing doesn't quite make sense. Like, it kept talking about a text that I sent to Otis before the restaurant. That's why he turned up late and I felt like I was stood up, but I never sent that text. Who did? Sonya says, I don't know. Alright, I'ma head out, see you at the ring, leaving Mandy alone in the locker room when suddenly you hear a text notification. It's Sonya's phone, Mandy says. Oh, it's Sonya's phone because backstage wrestling. She says, oh, it's a message from Dolph. Wait a minute, but better than that. Next up, Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy versus Ricochet versus Rey Mysterio versus Andrade for the US title. These guys all deserve a Mania match, and gosh, I think this would be really good, guys. I don't know, but I I want to see them do the whoop-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. You can set up in a promo parade. It doesn't matter. So I originally wanted Rey Mysterio versus Andrade, career versus title, not mask versus title. You'd never need to unmask Rey Mysterio. Career versus title, but I thought, there's no one here. You can't have Rey Mysterio retiring in an arena with no children in it. That does not make sense. So delay that, maybe SummerSlam. Will there be wrestling at SummerSlam? Who knows? Well, actually, the World Health Organization probably does know. So who knows? So this match happens, and gosh, wouldn't it be nice, but Rollins decides, oh, you know what, all that stuff I was preaching earlier about, we can do this by ourselves, activate hypocrisy mode, and he runs in and super kicks Aleister Black. Buddy Murphy covers him, finally pins Aleister Black for once, and then he becomes the US champion, because after WrestleMania, we're thinking that Seth Rollins is going to be the guy to go after Drew McIntyre, spoilers, and having a mini-me with his own title chasing him, being his ever loyal disciple, because Seth Rollins is the guy who helped him get that strap. That's a pretty good way of starting that story. So next up is Otis versus Dolph Ziggler with Mandy Rose as special guest referee, and let's talk about this. So I am on record as not being the hugest fan of Heavy Machinery. Otis's gimmick of half Lenny from Mice and Men and half Funkasaurus troubles me on a cellular level, but I can't deny that this is one of the only stories going into Mania season with actual months of build. People seem really invested in it. I don't know why. It was mostly revolving around cakes and jiggling. But if people have put that much effort into it, though, yes, it should be paid off. These guys deserve this. So this match shouldn't be too long, just enough to cover the story beats. Dolph Ziggler uses underhanded tactics to get the advantage. He tries to pin Otis using his feet in the ropes, but Mandy Rose kicks his feet off the ropes, and Dolph's like, what are you doing? I'm a show-off. Come on, here to show the I'm here to show. There's interference from Robert Roode, but Tucky takes care of that by doing something that you wouldn't expect from a man of his size. Dolph gets into Mandy's face when she refuses to fast count, being like, what's happening here? I thought we had a plan. And then she hoofs him in the Zigglypuffs. While Ziggler is down, clutching his ballocks, Sonya Deville climbs into the ring. She says, Mandy, what are you doing? Then crash zoom on Mandy's face. She says, Sonya, I know it was you. Slap, throw her out of the ring. Then Tucky and Otis hit the compactor. 1, 2, 3. Mandy jumps into Otis's arms. He carries her out of the arena into the sunset, and we never see any of them again. No, I'm kidding. Am I? I think I am. I'm not. So let's get serious. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Now this can go two ways as long as the match itself is good enough. As long as the match itself is amazing, as it should be, because both these women are amazing, then it really doesn't matter who loses, because you can still emerge out of it looking like you belong on a main event level. It's just when you're deciding who wins this one, it could go one of two ways. So, does Rhea Ripley get a victory over a huge main roster horsewoman, which arguably she may have already got at Survivor Series, and then cement herself as this huge star? Is she a huge star already though? Or does Charlotte win in a win that she arguably doesn't need, but she moves over to NXT, gives them a bump in the ratings, and then you can eventually have some really great matches before she eventually puts over the next big star, Bianca Belair. Don't get me wrong, I think Rhea is a huge star. The hugest, but I want to see her have main roster matches now. I want to see Rhea Ripley versus Sasha Banks. I want to see Rhea Ripley versus Becky and let it have a finish. Whereas Charlotte, you can have Charlotte versus Io Shirai, Charlotte versus Candice LeRae, Charlotte versus Bianca Belair. So Charlotte takes the belt in this one after a back and forth match without necessarily needing a lot of actual story. Just let them both look great, basically. And also, at some point, have Rhea Ripley hit Charlotte with a big boot, because that should be her finisher. Watch the list I put on Wrestle Talk. Rhea Ripley should absolutely have the big boot as her finisher. Next up, The Fiend versus John Cena. Bear with me on this one. So this is going to be a bit weird. Now, this is a Mania that is being shot ahead of time, and hopefully the spoilers don't leak. But if it is being shot ahead of time, and you can mess around with things you wouldn't normally be able to do if you're filming live, at least one of the matches should lean into that, and this is the one. It's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Let's make something out of it we can't replicate elsewhere, so it almost makes this all worth it. So almost. So I think we can all agree that ever since the Fiend was pinned by Goldberg in Saudi Arabia after not even a jackhammer, a f***ing suplex, that the shine has gone off him a little bit. So we need some sort of big event to come in and rescue the Fiend. So bear with me. The story going into this match is that Bray Wyatt feels that after losing to John Cena at WrestleMania 30, that began his downward spiral, and that's revisionist booking because there were just thousands and thousands of little paper cuts, and that's what caused Bray Wyatt to bleed out, not just one actually really good match against Cena. However, to address these themes of revenge, Cena destroying characters, and time coming full circle, I have an idea. Before the match on SmackDown or an advanced promo, Bray Wyatt promises one thing: John Cena stole years from him, so he's gonna steal years from John Cena. So Cena comes out, he takes off his shirt, he throws it into the crowd, he's on autopilot. Somehow the shirt gets thrown back to him. Then Cena and the Fiend go at it, and John Cena's doing all of his moves. The Fiend is surviving them all, and the Fiend kicks out at one. John Cena hits that f***ing preposterous Jackie Chan punch he likes to hit sometimes. And then John Cena goes in for his flying shoulder tackles. The Fiend snatches him out of midair and plants him with the mandible claw. However, as he is cinching it in tight and John Cena is losing consciousness, the Fiend gestures and all the lights go out, one by one. When the lights come back on, the Fiend is sitting in the corner and the body in the middle of the ring is of John Cena, but it's not hustle, loyalty and respect John Cena. It's Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena. He's gasping for air and he kind of regains consciousness. He looks at himself. He's wearing a basketball vest, a backwards cap, a chain. He's wondering where he is, and as he stumbles to his feet, he goes for Bray, and Bray snatches him again. He choke slams him over and over and over again, locks in the mandible claw one last time, gestures again. The lights go out, and when they come back up, it's not Doctor of Thugonomics Cena. It's a man wearing red and black lycra shorts. His hair has been shaved and there's just a little bit of gelled stuff on the top. It's John Cena as a rookie when he debuted. The Fiend is literally stealing years from John Cena, sort of erasing John Cena from the WWE. And because this is the only time where a match like this could take place, we can actually do this. Finally, the Fiend locks in the mandible claw. John Cena passes out. 1, 2, 3. The Fiend wins. The lights go out. And when they come back, the ring is empty. Have I gone mad? Maybe, but bear with me. If the Fiend demolishes John Cena, but does it in a way that's unique to him, suddenly that character is interesting again, and he has erased John Cena from the WWE. John Cena can then go off to Hollywood, and it's like his WWE life has been killed, eaten by the Fiend. Like this way, the Fiend is actually an eater of worlds. John Cena's wrestling world. He can go off and be a celebrity for another year, and the Fiend can be the person that destroyed him. It may look hokey, I don't know, but I think if done right, with the right lighting, with the right costuming, with Cena being able to sell it, and I think of all people, Cena would be able to sell this, I think it could be something special enough to re-establish the Fiend. Next up, the Raw Tag Team Champions Street Profits defending their belts against the Viking Raiders. Again, these guys deserve a WrestleMania pay-per-view payday. You don't need a lot of story to it, you just need a lot of fast-moving, great tag team action, sort of cleanse the palate after what just happened. But there is actually a little bit of story to this. You see, when Viking Raiders left NXT, they were the champions, but instead of doing the standard thing of having a takeover match in which the Street Profits would then presumably beat the Viking Raiders, they just vacated the belts. They just vacated them and decided to move to the main roster undefeated. And they can remind the Street Profits of this. They can say, you were only NXT champions with our permission. Much the same way you've only been Raw Tag Team champions with our permission. We rescind that permission. It doesn't turn the Viking Raiders full heel, but it does establish the Street Profits as the underdog babyfaces, and that's a story that goes into the match with them having to be wily to avoid the Viking Raiders' incredible Norse power. The final spot should be one that showcases both Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. So the Viking Raiders collide in the ring, Ivar falls to the ground, Angelo picks up Eric in a fireman's carry, big strong boy, and then he moves over to the corner turnbuckle. Then Montez Ford jumps off the turnbuckle onto the back of Eric and then jumps from there to do his most beautiful of frog splashes. Pins 1, 2, 3. Street Profits retain the Raw Tag Team Champions in a fast, fun, but ultimately filler match before we get into semi-main territory. Then we have the 6-woman 6-pack elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley versus Tamina versus Dana Brooke versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks and a partridge in a pear tree. First things first, out comes Tamina when bang, she's immediately demolished by Nia Jax. Nia Jax is back, hooray! I think? No, hooray! Hooray! Nia Jax betrays her old friend, takes Tamina's place in the match, then suddenly we've got two main stories. We've got Bayley and Sasha. Will their friendship survive everyone else? And everyone is going to be waiting for Sasha to murk Bayley again because Banks got a Banks. So Nia Jax eliminates half the field. She knocks Dana Brooke down, 1, 2, 3. She splashes Lacey Evans from the top turnbuckle, 1, 2, 3. Naomi jumps in, she catches her, plants her with a Samoan drop, maybe from Brett's rope, 1, 2, 3, leaving Nia Jax and Sasha and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley have to work together like they've never worked together before to take down Jax. But finally, they get her with a double superplex from the top rope. They both jump on top for the pin. 1, 2, 3, Nia Jax has been eliminated, leaving Sasha and Bayley. The match that should have been and is actually built rather than through weeks of SmackDown, through this match. Them working together, them overcoming the odds, and now will this friendship survive? They go back and forward for maybe 5 minutes, let it be a match within a match basically, and then the referee goes down, Bayley is down. Sasha Banks climbs out of the ring, she gets the title belt, she rolls back into the ring, she just looks at Bayley. She just looks at her and she thinks, can I? Should I? Bayley gets to her feet and she turns around and she sees Sasha and she's just like, well, here we are again. And that one moment, Sasha hesitates and thinks, I can't do this. But then Bayley grabs the title belt, smashes Sasha in the face, pins her, 1, 2, 3. Bayley retains her SmackDown Women's Championship. Finally, Bayley takes the fucking initiative. And finally, we can have that goddamn singles main roster feud between Sasha Banks and Bayley, with somehow Sasha as the face and Bayley as the heel. Better than nothing? And finally, Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. Let's make this quick, shall we? So, this match, my jimmies are still rustled by it. William Goldberg, in the year of our Lord 2020, is the Blue Universal Champion, and Roman Reigns just decided to have a match with him. All right, that's what we're getting. That's what you've got. Basically, boo until I die, but my armchair saltiness to one side. It is a marquee match that's come at the expense of a lot. And let's just get into it. This match should not go a long time because he's an Oldberg, and either it's just going to be Roman Reigns prolongingly beating up an old man, or Roman Reigns being beaten up by an old man, and neither of those are particularly good looks. Instead, keep it to big moves, and I have to insist upon one spot where they just run into each other. Like, they both just, oh, fuck. Yeah, wrestling must be hard, huh? Yeah, they both go for the spear at the same time and they both die. Reigns then hits his spear, Goldberg immediately pops up, hits a spear of his own. He goes for the jackhammer, but Roman Reigns powers out of it, hits for 1, then 2, then 3 spears in a row, and then, just as an extra little f*** you to Big Bill, Reigns gets him up for the jackhammer, hits Goldberg with his own move, and pins him 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is Universal Champion again. And you know what? This is such a risky bloody show for him They're good. Good. He wins clean, and I'm actually super happy for him because that is the most emotionally I can make of this situation, and I hope everyone's super happy for him too. Thus ends Night 1 of WrestleMania 36. How do you like my booking so far? Tell me I'm crap in the comments. Why not, I suppose. Also, please like and subscribe to partsFUNknown. Why don't you check out No Rolls Barred? We've just had our version of WrestleMania, the Colossal Tussle, as part of that series, and that was also filmed in front of no fans. So you could say that it's as good as WrestleMania. All right, that's it from me. Again, please buy your wrestler's favorite merch and don't take any risks out there. Stay safe, everyone.